Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, the self-proclaimed king of armor destruction, and we've got a body armor panel to check out today. And this one's a little uncommon for our testing. Normally we're always testing rifle rated plates, and occasionally we test something like this, but we have a pistol rated plate today, but it's in backpack form. This is from, I'm gonna murder their name, Bauhoo. Someone correct me in the comments below on how to say this.
Mr. Ahmed Folly is here to see.
Axel Foley. Axel.
Achwell.
Axel.
This is a backpack. This is their double shield model. So this is rated for 9mm and 44 Magnum. In full transparency, the manufacturer contacted me and asked for me to perform a demonstration on this backpack. Now, here on my channel, we're out testing bullet data and all that cool scientific stuff, so I'm not really going to give you a review per se on the actual backpack. It's got, you know, different cup holders on the side. It's made from Cordura fabric, and it seems like a very nice backpack. The zippers are very stout. They seem to roll pretty well. We've got internal component for backpack, various different things you would see in a higher end backpack. We've got our padding vent on the back so it's softer on you when you wear it. The shoulder straps have some padding in it. I do like that the handle grip up here is very stout. I have a Targus Drifter too that I carry my work laptop in, and while those have a lifetime warranty, probably about every 2 to 3 years, I usually end up replacing them because they have a plastic on the strap up here and it tends to break away. So I like that these carry handles are very firm. As I mentioned, this is their double shield model, so this covers 44 mag and lesser threats. Their single shield is 357 SIG and 9mm. I didn't think they specified velocities, and they also have a non-ballistic version, which I'm guessing doesn't have the insert. As it sits, it weighs 3 pounds 8 ounces with the insert, and here is our insert. It is nothing but probably about a ½ inch of 100% pure polyethylene or ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene. As you can tell, this panel is not pressed, meaning there's not a giant press that presses all the layers together because they want it to remain flexible inside your backpack. The one thing I will call the manufacturer out for right now in terms of bettering their quality from the get-go is they're using like packaging tape essentially to tape all these layers together. And when you've got it inside a carrier like the backpack, that's fine. But to make this last longer, if you were to take a shot to this, we should stitch at least the outer corners on a diagonal, or if possible, stitch the entire thing together, because the longer you can keep this panel together, the longer it will perform. Now here at my channel, I'm very data driven, so I'm going to give you guys as much information as possible. I try to mimic some of the IIIA specifications whenever possible. Since this is pistol rated, we'll be at 7 to 10 feet. We use a chronograph whenever possible because we want to know the velocity that this panel will stop that bullet. This is all worst case. I use a giant clay briefcase filled with Roma Plastilina #1 clay. That's the same clay that the IIIA uses. It is 80 to 85 degrees outside today, but I gotta heat the clay up to 100 to actually calibrate it. So we're just using it as a giant compressible media so that this panel can act like it's up against a body. And again, this is going to provide us with worst case scenario. We'll kind of look at the back face when we're done with all these different testings and see how much it sticks into the clay. I also put a spreadsheet here at the beginning and the end with all the threats that we shot at it and the velocities if we recorded them and if they penetrated or not. So you have a nice little summary there. If you guys want to skip around in the video, that's totally fine. I'm just glad you're here collecting information to make a better buying decision. There are various reasons why you may need a backpack with ballistic coverage. It's better to have than have not. Before we start today's test, I'd like to take a moment to thank HeatCure. I have been looking for a portable, battery pack to bring out here and run our screen with. I had been using a uninterruptible power supply that's mainly only for indoor use, and I've strained the battery quite a lot on it. So HeatCure contacted me and offered to send us this product for evaluation. So far, it's doing quite well. I've actually run this screen all day and the battery didn't tick down one bit. If you have any suggestions for a solar panel that is compatible with these type of power supplies, drop a comment below. So I kind of debated on how to set up the test for this, whether I wanted to shoot the panel inside the backpack or not. And I ultimately put it inside the backpack because that kind of acts as the casement for our polyethylene. I'm going to start off with some 9mm. I have 3 somewhat common but yet uncommon threats that I want to shoot at it that are known for penetrating certain types of body armor. I have L7A1, that is a very hot 124 grain loading from Great Britain. I also have some Liberty Civil Defense 9mm, that is 50 grains, all copper, very, very fast. In the past, a lot of people have assumed that just because that thing is going super fast, it will penetrate all kinds of 3A, and that's just not the case. It excels at aramid fiber penetration, but in polyethylene here, that is really good at stopping speed. And then I have M39B, that is an older surplus round. It is lead core, but it has a unique, like mushroom-shaped, thick steel jacket. On the outside, it's thicker at the top. Very good at penetrating soft armor. We're gonna take 3 shots of each from 3 different barrel lengths. We have our 4.5-inch A.R.E.N.G.E Delta Gen 2 long slide right here. Then we have our CZ Scorpion Evo. Then we have our 16-inch PCC carbine. So the M39B will be last, Liberty Civil Defense first, and then our L7A1 first. I'll try to call out the placement of these shots because I may have to adjust the chronograph. This should be to the left of where it says the brand logo. Nice, good velocity. Then our Liberty Civil Defense, I'll put right on the logo. (2,000 feet per second, amazing. Then the M39B, I will put right below that one. Cool. And now onto our longer barrel length. This is a 7.72-inch barrel. This is our CZ Scorpion Evo 3 S1 SBR, probably my favorite 9mm gun to shoot. I'm going to foreshadow this a little bit, but I'm going to shoot one of our Liberty Civil Defense and one of the L7A1. If that tells you anything. This shot will be to the left of the M39B. And then this shot will be directly below that last shot. Awesome. And now we'll step up to the longest barrel length that I have in 9mm. This is our 16-inch ARV9. Take a shot again from our Liberty Civil Defense and our L7A1. If you haven't seen my gel test of the Liberty Civil Defense, this thing will get 2,600 feet per second out of this PCC. So this one will be the upper row to the left. And then this one will be right below it. 2,500 feet per second. Woo! Let's go see what we did before we go to our next threats. So far it's not working out too bad on the backpack because I can write on it. So our L7A1 was right here from the 4.5-inch. Then our Liberty Civil Defense. Then the M39B. Then over here was our L7A1 from the CZ. Then the Civil Defense. And then over here was our L7A1 and the Liberty Civil Defense from the 16-inch. Place those bets in the comments below. It may be hard to see if we have penetrations in this backpack, so when we do the final teardown, we'll figure out what's what. Well, there's our Cordura label. Get that away here. Now, so far, our Backface, which is our indentation in our clay, like I said, this clay has to be a lot warmer, but it is pretty warm. It's not terrible right there, but this looks like we have a penetration from the M39B. You can see our, come here. You can see our hole right there, hit punched right through there. We will confirm these other ones, but that one just looked like it broke the fabric there. That doesn't indicate a penetration. There is a bulge right there from the Liberty Civil Defense in the 16-inch, but impressive. with that much polyethylene, pretty good that it stopped that stuff. Now the M39B, in my prior testing, you need a hard level 3A panel to stop that. Now time for one of my personal favorite calibers, 5.7 by 28 millimeter. Commonly, a lot of marketing online claims that armor can stop 5.7 by 28 millimeter, but that's typically our SS197 from our shorter pistol barrel length, and that's designed to expand and fragment, so it's kind of not a fair assessment. So I have two particular rounds that somewhat excel at penetration. I have the American Eagle TMJ, it's 40 grain lead core full metal jacket, and I have SS198 LF, that is a 27 grain aluminum core round going right around 2100 feet per second out of our pistol and a little faster out of our longer barrel length. So I have our Palmetto State Armory rock right here. This has a 4.6-inch barrel, a little on the shorter side. We'll take a shot of each, and then we have our Kel-Tec P50, which has an 8-inch barrel. So this shot will be the upper part of the plate. That's about average for our velocity. Then our SS198. Let's see if we can put this right next to the other one. Pretty good velocity off that, almost 2100 feet per second. I'm gonna grab another shot of SS198 because I placed it a little too low. Bug. Wow, duplicate velocity. One more shot of 198 because that was not a fair hit. That one was a fair hit. Again, another duplicate. Wow. And now on to our 8-inch barrels, our Kel-Tec P50. Got a Kestrel 22 on there. Very comparative to our 10.4-inch P90 SBR barrel. We'll take the American Eagle TMJ shot first, then the SS198 LF. At some point I should finish your review on this little pistol. Pretty handy. Pretty good job for a Kel-Tec. So this will be on the left side of our little backpack here. Interesting, I didn't get that to cycle. And then this one will be right next to it. A little low there, but whatever. 2411, pretty good velocity there. Here's our shot of American Eagle TMJ from our 5.7 Rock. Here's the first shot of 198. I would not consider that a fair hit because of how close in proximity that was to these other shots here. So I took a second shot over here, and again, like I explained in the beginning, because the panel is starting to come apart because there's only tape holding it together, and then the bullet actually pushed up and through, so I wouldn't consider that a fair hit. Real world wise, totally countable. So then I took another shot of SS198 LF over here. Then from our P50, here was our American Eagle TMJ, and then here was our 198 down there. Ho! No pass-throughs, folks. Like I said, the only pass-through was this non-fair hit of 198 LF up here. Here's still our mark from our M39B. Otherwise, this is doing a pretty good job at stopping common and uncommon threats. I figured it wouldn't be fair to my 5.7 friends if I didn't bring out the good stuff. Here I have a 34 grain solid copper round from Vanguard Outfitters. This is their Black Dragon Fang. This is one of the top performing 5.7 rounds, along with Elite Ammunition's T6B, their Devastator 3.0, and S4M, and even R&R Weapon Systems R37X. Those loads are above and beyond what you can get from FN. We'll take a shot from our rock here. And then we got a couple more threats we can shoot at this panel. This will be on the left side of our panel. A little slow velocity wise. All right, now another threat that this plate is definitely not rated for. We have 300 blackout. Normally with our supersonic rounds, that's enough velocity to defeat to defeat soft armor. But what about a subsonic round? We've got a 220 grain full metal jacket right here from Callaway Ballistics. We have a 10.5-inch pistol with our JK Armament rifle kit on there. I'm kind of curious on how this performs because I want to test some 8.6 black once I get my hands on that. So I think this will be a good baseline for that. So this will be on the right side of our backpack. Yeah. We are indeed subsonic. And then I'll place this one directly below it as well. Cool. And now onto our final threat. I forgot to ask my dad to borrow his Model 29 and 44 mag. He has that and a Ruger carbine with a 16-inch barrel. That would have probably been a good test. But we're going to go above and beyond for maximum destruction. So we have 50 Action Express. We have our Desert Eagle here and 2 loads. We have a Spear Gold Dot and a 300 grain jacketed soft point. These were some of the bullets that were introduced when this gun first came out. This is one of the earlier Israeli-made models. This shot is hopefully going to be right dead center of the plate. Knowing me and this gun, I'm going to pull it. Hopefully I don't shoot my chronograph. Let me get all lined up for this one. .1467, pinned myself in the head with the brass there, and now our jacketed soft point. Pretty good velocity off that. Our hand cannon, yeah. We're in the home stretch here, folks. Here was our Black Dragon Fang from our 5.7 Rock. Here was our 300 Blackout shot number 1. Number 2, here was our 58E shot number 1 and number 2. There's quite a bit of area left on this polyethylene panel. If you've seen any of my tests in the past, you know polyethylene is good at stopping speed and it's good at stopping a lot of rounds, even in close proximity, as long as you don't introduce anything that's like hardened like steel, like our M39B. Place those bets in the comments below. Oh, look at that back face from our 58E. We did have a penetration that I checked from our Black Dragon Fang. You can see that penetration right there. The hole likely got covered up. You can see, actually it's right here is where it penetrated. That round is really hard to stop. You need a rigid 3A panel to do it. We mentioned Backface signature early on, and that means how much of a dent that the bullet puts in our clay. In this case, the higher the energy round, the more chance that it has to do that. So our 58E was our worst case there. The N.I.J. allows up to 44 millimeters. That's almost a 2-inch divot, again, when the clay is heated to 100 degrees. So whatever we see here in warmer clay, the clay is going to be softer and we could see more. So it's just a representation. Get in there. 48 millimeters on the second shot of 58E. And on the first one, 37 millimeters. Again, there is no rating for 58E. I just picked that because it's a higher energy round, pretty much above 44 mag. So I wanted to give you, again, worst case scenario. Our 300 Blackout shots, there's just some minor divots in the clay there. Broke the strap. Impressive. And now for the fun part, our teardown. Although I've already shown you the panel in the beginning, so there's not a whole lot to see here, but we do this just to confirm any penetrations as well. There's this foam layer that was inside, maybe as a comfort thing. I would probably make an effort to have a higher density foam. Otherwise, why include that? Here's the back side of our panel. Our tape is held up. Again, our only 2 penetrations were the M39B and the Black Dragon Fang, neither of which are listed on the N.I.J. Those are very special threats and very hard to stop. You can see our dimples from our 50AE, our 300 Blackout. So that subsonic round didn't do a whole lot of damage there. Like I said, I want to test 300 Blackout Subsonics on what it can do against armor, so when I get 8.6 black, I can see what that can do. Again, like I mentioned, if you could sew the entire perimeter of this panel, or even diagonally, you're going to keep all these layers together and it's going to perform better over many shots. It was bunched up a little bit, but not too bad. I think it was a good idea to put it back in the backpack. You can see all those layers. Here's a cool thing about when polyethylene and armor stops lead core rounds. Here is our 50 Action Express Gold Dot. Look at that guy. It's so cute. And then here is our SS198 LF. Give me a second, we'll pull a couple more out of there. Let me try to position the camera this way for you all. Here's one of our 300 Blackout rounds stopped. Here is our L7A1 stopped. And your first few layers there. Some of the other rounds made it a little further in there. There's the Liberty Civil Defense. Let's see if I can find the other 50 AE load. Stuck in there, he's melted. Look at that. That's cool. Our slower, higher energy rounds have a hard time penetrating this stuff, mainly because it kind of liquefies and then catches it. There is the SS198 LF from the P50. Overall, I'd say the thickness of this plate panel definitely helped it stop. They're using a quality polyethylene. Well, everyone, that concludes our test from our double shield ballistic backpack from Bauhoo. It stopped everything it was supposed to stop and then some. Now, granted, I can create different threat profiles to shoot against armor to actually defeat it. I want to give you guys information on whether or not the manufacturer is producing quality products as well. And it stopped 9mm. It even stopped our 50 AE, which is above and beyond our 44 Magnum. Now, the Backface was a little on the excessive side, but again, there are no threat profiles in the NIJ that addresses 50 Action Express. Overall, if you're looking for a usable backpack that offers you ballistic protection, definitely give our double shield from Bauhoo a hard look. Now, it will run you more than most traditional backpacks. I do believe this is $259 for the double shield, but like I said, my Target's Drifter 2 runs me about $80, and then I'm going to be in for a ballistic panel anywhere from, you know, $75 to over $100, depending on what kind of panel I want. With all that being said, I'm going to get the heck out of here because I've got fireworks to go and enjoy. I have one of these backpacks left, new in the bag, that I didn't put any holes in because we got what we needed on that one. I think we should add this to our giveaway. This would be a good item for someone to have. Like I said, there's lots of use cases where this could come in handy, whether you were an adult or a teenager or a child. It's better to have than have not. With all that being said, I'd like to take a moment to thank all those who help make these videos possible. Number one is my Patreon and subscribe star fans. Number two is Bauhoo, who contacted me and asked me to do a demo on this product. And of course, number three is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.